Welcome everybody, this is How to English, Teach and Learn with Gav and Em.
It's a podcast about teaching and learning as a foreign language. It's a podcast about teaching and learning English as a foreign language.
All opinions stated are personal and references will be given when necessary.
Are we keeping that?
Are we keeping what, Em?
That mess up I just did.
I'm probably going to cut it out.
Alright, good.
Em, welcome back to the show. It is episode 19 of Gav and Em's How to English TEFL pod. We are doing the A to Z of TEFL.
We're getting close to the end now, Gav. We're at S. This is the S episode.
We're going to talk all about the letter S, and as you say, we are coming to the end of the alphabet, which is a very sad situation, but I'm really excited because I've got loads of really good topics. I hope you've done your homework, Em, and you've got something to talk about this week.
I have got many things with S to talk to you about. Should I start? Let's S for start. Do you want an easy one or a hard one?
Is it a maths question?
No, we're an English podcast. We're not going to be talking about maths, but you could decide between semantics or syllables. We're going to talk about both, but which one do you want first?
I probably know less about semantics, so let's get that one out of the way.
Semantics is talking about the meaning of words. Could you explain to me, Gav, the difference between that's so cool and that's so cool?
I think written down those two sentences were identical.
Yeah. How would they be different in different situations?
Give me those two sentences again.
It's so cool and it's so cool.
Now, they're both identical, but if I picture a teenager listening to our podcast, I think by the end of the episode they would say, wow, it's so cool, meaning it's really good.
Yeah, awesome, excellent, amazing, okay. And so if you were to use it's so cool in a different context?
And the sentence, it's so cool, I can imagine I touch a window and it's much colder than I expect.
Maybe it's hot outside and you touch the window and you say, it's so cool compared to the outside temperature.
I might press my face against it so I can cool my face down.
Okay, nice image. So those two sentences are identical, but we have different meanings for the word cool. What about if I say to you, we're going to go to the zoo, Gav, the bus will take us, or we'll take the bus? You could say that those two sentences sound or look grammatically quite similar. Do you understand any difference in meaning? The bus will take us and we'll take the bus?
I think the outcome might be the same, but the process of deciding to take the bus, which was your second sentence, we'll take the bus rather than take the train, go by car, walk, etc. It tells me it's public transport anyway. And if I say the bus will take us, then I have a sense that it's already organised for us.
That you've organised it, booked it, that it will arrive at a certain time and maybe it's only you and your friends. The bus will take us, we'll take the bus. They're quite different in meaning, I think. Last one. If I say to you, I was in the supermarket, I dropped lots of things and somebody stopped to help me pick them all up. He was an angel. Can you just break that down for me, please? What do I mean when I say he was an angel?
That person was very kind to me and did me a favour.
Yeah, not a literal angel, not from heaven.
I can't guess, but I'm assuming not.
So these are all semantics, Gav, and these are the things we have to teach our students, the subtleties of English, maybe things that are not so obvious to learners.
It wasn't that obvious to me while I was listening to you, Em, but now on reflection, they are very important differences.
Let's say learners and teachers then, shall we?
I think we should. Em, I think you dealt with the analysis of word meanings and relationships between them very well. Your semantics were on point.
Thanks, Gav. What S have you got for me, Gav?
I have been wondering over these last weeks, exactly how does M teach small talk. S for small talk.
Would you like me to break it down for you? I sound like an AI now.
Give me a little demo how you might spontaneously teach a little small talk to your students because they've requested this from you in your class.
Very on the spot here. I like how you've combined spontaneous and small talk together. Spontaneous small talk. Well, I've had this question lots of times. Students do want to know this. It does seem to be a question that comes up. What can we do for small talk? Yeah, I say, what are good topics? Start with topics. If you've got a one-to-one or a group, you say, what kind of topics do you think are good small talk topics?
Religion, politics,
You're
wars.
doing the parsnip thing, aren't you?
Are these not the right topics?
No politics, no religion, no, I don't remember what all the parsnips were, but yeah, don't go there. So come on, Gav, you've done this. Think of safe topics. S for safe, small talk topics.
Weather?
Yes.
Football?
Possibly. I don't know. I don't know a lot about football, but yeah, maybe.
Sports generally?
Possibly. I think that is quite specific, but definitely weather.
Food?
Yep.
Holidays? Free time?
Nice, yes.
Family?
Good. English, language, that kind of thing. So once you've got those topics, I would then say, right, so let's talk about the weather. What kind of questions can we ask people? What sort of questions? And then students would say, what's the weather like today? What's it like in the summer in your country? Do you like cold weather? Have you ever been somewhere really, really hot?
There is some grammar built into this lesson. You need to create questions like, how is and what's it like?
That's right. So you might need to help with that as well. But generally, you can get an hour out of just those things, I think, if you've got 4 or 5 different topics.
I can picture you standing up at the board, writing these questions that you elicit from your students, and next to them, the answers from the students arranged in a topic-based way. So we've got family on one side, we've got weather, we've got food, we've got your favourite restaurant. I can see it just flowering in front of me, Em.
Sounds like a lot of writing, but yeah, you would be good to note all that down if you can, in a structured way. Other than that, I think it's important just to build a role play situation. So I have done it where I've said to students, imagine we're in a trade fair or a conference.
Bus stop.
Whatever. And yeah, you want to start a conversation because a lot of the time students say, yeah, great idea to talk about hobbies. But you wouldn't say, hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. What do you do in your free time? Or maybe you would. I don't know. I just think it's quite a jump from that to hobbies. They might need a bit of a bridge in terms of situation. So if you're in a conference, you might want to say things like, have you been here before? Have you attended this conference? What did you think of the speaker? Do you like the coffee? Just a little bit more of an icebreaker before you start then talking about football or holidays.
Do you enjoy fishing too?
Exactly. That may seem a bit out of nowhere if you haven't built up to it.
If it's not a fishing conference.
Well, then you're right. That would be an appropriate question. Always think about context. There's no point just having these random questions. You've got to put them into a dialogue. You've got to think about them in a real situation. Why do you ask, Gav?
Because my students are also always asking this question. Teacher Gav, can we please practice small talk? How do we do that? And I simply say to them, how do you do it in your own language?
That's a good tip too, which I would imagine is the same in every language.
Unless you get the answer, I don't do it in my language either. Can you please help?
Well, then it's more of a how do you learn to be a sociable person sort of lesson, isn't it? I think you need to just help with that.
Which is often our job.
It is sometimes, and that brings me to scaffolding and support. S for scaffolding, S for support. So if these questions do not come naturally, you might need to generate some questions for your students and maybe make it a gap fill. Put it into an AI program, maybe ask AI to generate some small talk questions, gap fill those questions and see if the student can fill in the gaps and then see if they can remember what the sentences were. So they're not then having to do all the work to think about them as well.
Or you could write the questions yourself.
You could, that's true too.
Because small talk is something we do every day.
Or not, as you've just explained. Some people can't do it, so if they can't do it, you might need to help them, scaffold, give them a little bit more structure to give them that confidence. Even if they've got those questions in their pocket on a piece of paper that they just look at every now and again, it's fine if that's what they need to do.
Agreed. Em, have you got an S for us?
Well, as I mentioned before, the other option was, do you remember?
Is this semantics again?
No, we did semantics. The other option was...
Syllables?
Correct. What do you know about syllables?
I know they are word parts.
Word parts, exactly right. Think of it as every time your jaw opens, you feel your jaw drop. When you say a word, that's a syllable.
My students' jaws often drop when I talk.
I'm talking about the person talking, not the person listening. So if I say window, if you put your hand under your chin and say window, how many times...
When you say it, it doesn't... My chin doesn't move.
Stop it. Do it for me, please. Put your hand under your chin and say window.
Window.
How many times did your chin fall?
Twice.
There are 2 syllables in window, okay?
Is this scientifically proven or did you just make this up?
I might have just made it up, but I think it works quite well. So I'm going to tell you a word, Gav. If you need to keep that hand under that chin, you can. Think about how many syllables are in the word.
And we should mention that you must keep your hand under your chin and not your classmates.
That would be a fun game too. Put your hand under your classmate's chin. But I think this is better on your own chin. Put your hand under your chin and say the word inconsequential.
Inconsequential.
How many syllables are in that word?
Fortunately, there were 5 because I only had one hand to count with. The other one was under my chin.
Yeah, you're right. That is correct. 5 syllables. What does it mean, inconsequential? Can you use it in a sentence?
I thought we were doing syllables.
We are, but I want to know as we go along. These are really long words. They're really useful words because a lot of the words you look at online that say long syllables or longest word, they're not everyday words. They're usually medical terms or mechanical things. So this word I would use any time. What does it mean?
Having no impact or importance.
Exactly. Can you use it in a sentence?
This activity is not inconsequential. It has real impact on life.
I'm sensing some sarcasm, but yes, good sentence.
My
Thank
hand
you.
is getting very tired under my chin.
All right, you can put the hand down if you want, but don't forget, if you're really struggling to remember how many syllables, keep your hand up. The next word, Gav, is unbelievability.
Unbelievability. I've got 7 sounds, 7 syllables.
Correct. What does it mean?
It means this thing has not the quality to be believed.
Very good. Now, that is a challenge to use in a sentence.
I'm not sure I've ever used that as the noun form. I might say this is unbelievable.
Yeah, but unbelievability is becoming more and more common these days when we look at the internet. Perhaps?
Perhaps.
Are you perhapsing the grammatical correctness of my sentence or the actual meaning of it?
I can't say I've much experience of unbelievability online.
No, but it's generated in the world, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Good. Okay. What about this word? Discombobulation.
Discombobulation. 6 sounds.
6 syllables, yes.
Is it the noun form of confusion? When you're disorientated or unable to keep up with what's happening and you're confused?
That's right. So in a sentence?
Having my chin supported by my hand for so long leaves me with the feeling of discombobulation.
Ooh, nice. Or puts you in a state of discombobulation, you could say that too. Next one, what about internationalization?
Do you want to try again, Em?
Yes, internationalization.
Internationalization has got 8 syllables.
Wow, you did that really fast. It took me much longer to work that out. Yes, internationalization.
Again, another word I haven't used very frequently. I guess it's the state of being internationalized.
Yeah, I suppose you could use it in a business sense to say how appropriate your product would be for a global market.
Could we say it's the state of being globalized?
Yeah, I suppose so. What this company needs is internationalization to spread our product to the world.
Or simply said, go global.
Yeah, that's probably why we say that. Okay, maybe that one wasn't quite so everyday, but this next one and last one is definitely an everyday word. Biodegradable.
Biodegradable, 6 sounds, 6 syllables.
Yeah.
And that means that this thing will naturally break down over time in a natural situation.
That's good. So in a sentence?
I use biodegradable rubbish bags for my waste.
Thanks for that sentence, Gav. That was great.
Did I explain it well?
I think you did, and it was quite hard to be spontaneous, and I think it was quite hard to think of all those meanings and sentences. It's quite a challenge for your students, but you could do this with your students at any level, with any number of words, with any number of syllables. It's a nice thing, I think, to include all of those aspects. Helps with pronunciation as well.
And it's fun to hold your hand under your chin and use your fingers to count.
Well, it's memorable, which is what we need to help our students with.
Memorable. That's only got 4 sounds.
Memorable, not memorable. 3? No, memorable.
Oh, yeah, that sounds better.
Memorable. Memorable?
Memorable.
Memorable. I think memorable. Isn't it? Oh dear, I don't even remember anymore. Moving on. Next S.
Now, Em, I would like to transform you into the student.
Have you got a magic word for that?
Abracadabra.
Not Shazam, because it's the S episode.
Oh, that's even better,
Sorry.
isn't it? Can you tell me, what should you do as the student in these S for situations?
I am simulating a student situation.
Yes. What would you do if your teacher mispronounced your name every lesson?
Ooh. This is hard. Me as a student M, I would say nothing and hope that I understood when the teacher was talking to me.
Every time the teacher looks at you and says, Am, are you listening, Am?
Which could be quite hard online if you're not sure where the teacher's looking. But I guess the answer should actually be I would correct my teacher and say, excuse me, sorry, that's not my name. My name's M, not Am. I am M, not I
am Am. Have you ever been guilty, Teacher M, of mispronouncing any students' names?
Oh, absolutely. I think I do it a lot. And I've made a bit of a joke sometimes about how they say their name in their own language and that I'm struggling to be able to remember that. So, yeah, I do. Every now and again, I check in with my students and say, am I saying it right? Or after all these years, am I still saying it wrong? And I can make a bit of a joke. And if it's a new group, then I will definitely ask, if I'm not sure, just the student to say it how they would say it. Because a lot of the time, I don't know why, the student just says, oh, whatever you like, you say it how you want. And I think, well, no, because that's not how you say it. So you tell me how you want me to say it.
Or they might have a simplified version that's easier for you to say.
Yeah, that's true too. That's nice if they've got a nickname or something. And have your students ever said your name wrong, Gav?
Oh, mine say it wrong all the time.
How do they say it?
It might have an extra R, so Garv, or Gerv.
Oh.
There's many different ways of mispronouncing my name.
Do you correct them?
No.
No, okay.
But I do often in class talk to myself and say, Teacher Gav, what would you do? And then I hope that the students might think, oh, it's pronounced Gav, not Garv.
That's good. Or you could tell them a story. I was in the garden and my neighbour said, hey, Gav. Gav. Everybody, Gav.
But that might be too subtle. You never know. But I don't get too upset if they mispronounce my name. But of course, I want to say their names correctly. What would you do, Em, if you didn't understand the homework task, but you were too shy to ask?
I'm a student and I don't understand the homework task. So I guess the teacher has told me this at the end of the lesson and I didn't understand it. So I would probably email the teacher to say, I'm not sure I understood the homework. Could you just tell me again, please? because I love homework and I want to do it.
And I love emailing, and this is a great opportunity for me to practice that skill.
Definitely. And I'm not scared because you're my English teacher and this is all really easy. Just do it, students. I would.
Student M, what would you do if your teacher made a mistake, but they didn't notice?
You mean a grammar mistake?
I'm
a very high-level student, or it's just a really basic error?
Could be a typo. Could be a Marco.
Marker.
With a marker pen on the whiteboard.
Yeah, I would say, I think that's wrong. Or I would ask, are you sure that's the right spelling? Or I thought the spelling was actually this, and hope that I'm right. It takes a lot of courage, but I think you have to, because otherwise you're going to have that question forever.
Or you might pick up a mistake, and that'll be a problem.
Yes.
Student M, what would you do if you arrived late to class?
I would apologise and maybe give a short reason why I'm late and sit down and get on with my work.
Try not to disturb the class too much. Well, thank you very much, Student M, for your answers. They were all quite useful for our learner students and possibly for our teachers to reflect too.
Are you happy with those answers? Do you think those are suitable?
I thought they were all quite suitable, yes.
S for suitable. Let me see on my list of S. I've got a couple of things that may remind you of your CELTA, Gav. Do you remember learning about different ways of teaching English, including the Silent Way, which was made popular by Caleb Gategno?
I do remember that, and it was very quiet.
It was. What was the idea behind the Silent Way?
Was it something to do with gestures, then?
Yes, it was more of a body language, miming type of communication style, and then the language would come gradually as students felt more confident. I'm only going to touch on these. The other one is Suggestopedia. Do you remember Suggestopedia, which was made popular by Dr. Georgy Lozanov?
I vaguely remember this, but it's such a long time ago.
It's about dancing and music and creative kind of expression, which then creates language from it.
Sounds very hippie.
Yeah, I think it was. But don't underestimate the hippies. I'm sure they get good results.
I'm absolutely for it. If I can get my students up and moving around during the lesson, I am there.
Yeah.
That resonates with me, Em.
Glad to hear it.
I really liked your CELTA terms there. These are very TEFL related, and they all begin with the letter S.
Except for CELTA, which begins with a C. Even though we say CELTA, it's a C.
Would you like to do some subject-verb agreement with me?
No. No, thank you.
All right.
But if you want me to, if you want me to, I will.
We can come back to this one. How about...
Can we really skip it? It's like a student's dream when they say, oh no, and you just say, all right, no, don't worry, we won't do it.
In that case, then, we are going to do this activity, which I've titled Sentence Slips.
Slips of paper?
No, slips like mistakes that your students might make. Or, if you're a learner, you might recognise your own mistakes here.
You're going to say a sentence with a mistake, and I need to tell you what the mistake is?
That's it. I want you to correct it for us. When you ask your student if they're enjoying the lesson, and they reply, Teacher M, I'm boring.
I'm boring, meaning people don't like what you talk about. They fall asleep when you talk. They're not focused on what you're saying. You don't mean that. You mean you're bored.
I'm bored.
I'm bored.
I thought you were bored and I'm boring.
Hate doing this in the lesson. If you talk about ed ending adjectives, it means your feeling, your personal feeling. So I'm bored. That's how I feel. It's boring. The lesson's boring. The movie's boring. Describes the situation that makes you feel that way.
Ah, now I understand, Teacher M. I'm bored and you're boring.
That's it. Exactly right. Well done.
Now, when you ask your student M, what was your previous teacher like? And your student says, she was very sympathetic.
You don't mean sympathetic because that's not English. That's a different language.
Hold on, I'll check in my dictionary. It says sympathetic.
Sympathetic is an English word, but it's not used in that context. I would say your teacher was friendly, your teacher was nice, or your teacher was kind, meaning they were all those things.
But what does sympathetic mean, teacher?
That's when you feel other people's pain and you show that you're caring about it. So if you say, I dropped my favourite cup, and I say, oh no, that's a shame. What a pity.
You're showing pity.
I'm showing, sympathy.
I've got it. Now, Em, you ask your student, are you well today? And they, the Spanish or Portuguese student, replies, I am constipated.
I've never heard that one. I would say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Have you been to the doctor?
Yes, but I only have a runny nose.
Right, now I understand. I think you mean you have a cold or you've got a blocked nose.
Let me check. Oh no, I'm not constipated.
Yeah, that's probably not something you want people to know because that's something to do with the bathroom and your stomach.
That's blocked rather than running.
That's right, student. Let's stop there and continue with a different topic.
Now, teacher, you might ask your student, do you eat out a lot? And they answer, I'm so lucky. My husband is a great cooker.
I think you mean cook. Cook is the person. Cooker is the machine. Ha ha ha. Your husband isn't a machine, is he?
Sometimes he says he is. Your next student says to you, teacher M, I cried a lot as a child because I was very sensible.
Sensible? Generally sensible children don't cry because they don't take risks, and that means they are quite stable emotionally. I think you mean sensitive, meaning you felt a lot of things and you were affected by things quite a lot.
That makes perfect sense, because in my language, it's different.
Yeah, sensible is when you are ready and prepared. If it's raining, you take an umbrella.
That is very sensible. Got it. Our final sentence slip from our student is, I ate the menu and dessert.
You ate the menu, but the menu is made of paper. I don't think you can eat the menu.
I always eat the menu. I say to the waiter, I'll take the menu, please. And don't forget the dessert.
Do you mean the set menu? When
Yeah.
you have a special price?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it means different things. Menu is just the information on the paper, the card. When you go to the restaurant, they give you the menu.
Or it's up on the board sometimes. There might be some specials of the day.
Yeah, so you choose what you want from the menu.
I usually choose the menu from the menu.
But on the menu, there is a set meal that gives you a good price for a starter and a main course and maybe a drink.
It's usually got 4 courses.
4 courses, okay. So that's the set menu. You need to say set before menu.
The set menu.
And dessert is not the right pronunciation. You mean dessert. Dessert, like ice cream, chocolate cake.
Hold on, which one's the sandy one?
Desert.
Ah.
There's one S. Dessert is the ice cream.
Oh, I prefer dessert.
You don't really want a desert in a restaurant. You can have a restaurant in a desert, though.
That sounds cool.
Does, yeah.
But dry.
Well, you might need ice cream if you're in a desert for dessert.
And not a dry menu.
I don't know what that means.
Because it's made of paper.
But it would be dry because it's in a desert.
Em, have you got a final S for us today?
My final S is staging, Gav. I think it's very important for us to discuss staging. It's good for teachers to consider.
I often picture myself on a stage with a podium declaring the facts of English grammar to my seated disciples.
Stop.
Oh.
That is not staging. It's, I don't know what that is, but it's not staging.
Is that egotism?
Egotism, that's what that is. So staging is how you're going to structure your lesson, what you're going to do and when you're going to do it.
You say structure, but what does it mean, structure,
Well,
your
we're
lesson?
not talking about structure, we're talking about staging.
But staging, like, it's got different parts to it.
Exactly that.
you teach something and then you practice something?
Yeah. Think about it as a performance. You've got Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. If you like your stage metaphor, we can use that. Your lesson is a performance with acts. Can I go through one lesson with you and you tell me what you think of my stages?
I'd love to hear that.
Today, I did a introduction lesson. It was the first lesson of a new group, and the first lesson was talking about your job, your role, your responsibilities, your tasks, and introducing yourself.
You introduced the topic of introductions at the first stage of your lesson.
I'm telling you my stages, so wait a minute. I started with every student saying their job title.
And what's my task?
Give me feedback. What do you think of it at the end? Just tell me what you think. So I started with every student telling me their job and their location because they were in different places around the world. It was an online lesson. And then I asked the group to think about what that student would do every day. What would their tasks be? What are their responsibilities? What role do they play in the company? They all work for the same company. Then out of 6 students, 1 person was listening and 5 people were telling them what they thought they did for their job. And then the 1 student was saying if that was right or wrong. And I created a list of all their duties.
That is interesting.
And then we listened to a recording of 3 people talking about their job. So they introduced their job and their location and what they do every day. And the students had to write down all the details. And then I got the students to tell me and everyone else in the group about a person they knew and what their job was and what they did.
Good practice for third person S.
And present simple, yep. And then we listened to a more in-depth recording about a consultant, and he was talking about going to different cultures and how they introduce each other in their culture and how they introduce themselves in their country. And then we talked about whether it was the same or different for my students in their country. And I think we finished by talking about business cards and kissing on the cheek and shaking hands and bowing and that kind of thing.
Various gestures that you might need to incorporate into your greetings.
That's right. Actually, the last conversation was about whether the students had been to other countries and had any experience with other cultures.
Some nice free practice at the end.
What do you think of that?
Thank you for summarising your lesson. I counted approximately 8 different stages, and if I had been making better notes, I could give you some even better feedback. But I liked the way it built. I liked the creativity, the imagination that went into the first couple of exercises, where you were getting the other students really engaged, thinking about what their colleagues might or might not do every day.
It was good for a first lesson because it was a bit of team building as well. They were communicating together as a group. It wasn't just one person giving their monologue.
Which I think they may have done several times before.
They may have done it several times, and I'm not always sure that the other students are listening because often they're just thinking about their own job and how they're going to explain it. So it's really nice just to get them focused on one thing and not stress about anything else.
I liked your recordings where the students got to hear other people demonstrating the skill of introducing yourself and hopefully how to do it well.
I did wonder whether I should have at that point then asked the students to introduce themselves again, because the actual student that had the job wasn't the one giving the information. All the other students were saying what they thought, and the student with the job was saying yes or no. I wonder whether I should have had an extra stage in there where the students just go back to talk about their own job after listening to the example, so they've got some idea.
I might have slipped that in there just so they can finally practice the skills that you've given them.
Yeah, but this is all in hindsight, and this is what we do as teachers, isn't it? We analyse, pick apart, really obsess over our lessons and think about what bits we could have done better, what we could have added, taken away.
And what we will do better next time.
Of course, Gav, there's always next time. That's what's really good about my job. You can just keep polishing that diamond.
Absolutely. And Then you looked at a few different cultures, maybe see how it's different across the world, and finally gave the students a chance to talk about, have you any experience of meeting people in other countries? What's the handshake like? Is there a kiss? Is there a hug?
Yeah, a few anecdotes came in. That was good. And you're right, it was a bit more free practice. So as a lesson, generally, it sounds pretty solid.
I think your stages were rock solid.
Thanks, Gav.
But we can always improve them.
Always.
You've managed to avoid the final S I have M, which is the subject-verb agreement.
You said we could skip it.
Yeah, but we return to it now.
Oh. Okay, you're that kind of teacher. Right. Go on then.
All you need to do is give me the correct auxiliary verb in the correct form for each of these gap-filled sentences. Let's begin. Number 1. Neither the manager nor the employees responsible for the error.
Wow. Are responsible?
Correct.
Phew.
The number of complaints increased dramatically.
Huh? Have increased. The number of complaints has. The number of complaints has increased dramatically.
Number of is treated as singular, so well done, good correction there, M.
I had to say it to myself for it to sound...
3 times.
Yes.
It has increased dramatically. There a book, a pen and a notebook on the desk.
Well, that was an easy one. There are? Hang on. There is a blah blah, a blah blah and a blah blah on the desk.
I will take both of your answers. I think grammatically the verb is agrees with the first noun, which was a book. But for clarity and correctness, I suggest you rewrite this as there are a book, a pen and a notebook, just to match the plural list.
Can I retract easy? That was not easy, actually. That was really hard.
It was really hard. Each of the students submitted their assignment.
That sounds good without anything. Past simple.
Each of the students submitted their assignment.
Have submitted their assignment.
Each is always singular.
Has. Wow. Each of the students has submitted their assignments. Wow. I don't know this, Gav. I would put money on a lot of people getting this wrong.
A lot of people getting this
I
wrong.
don't have an exact figure, but I think it's a lot.
Okay, I'll take that bet. No, I'm not going to take that bet because I'd lose that bet.
Because they really do get it wrong, don't they? I get it wrong. I have no idea. This is hard.
And finally, the class disagree or disagrees on what to do next.
Disagrees? The class disagrees on what to do next.
Can you explain why?
No, just sounds okay.
Do you see the class as a group or as individuals?
Is it that thing with my family are coming to visit, or my family is coming to visit, or the football team are great, or the football team is great? You caught me out. So if you were thinking of the class as a entity unto itself, one group, one thing, then you would say the class disagrees.
It disagrees, exactly.
But then if you're thinking of the class as separate students or with their own idea, then you would say the class disagree.
Which would be the case here because the class disagree on what to do next. They've got different opinions, Em, so they're not one unit.
Well, Gav, I'm glad you left that to the end because I did not enjoy it.
I'm very sorry to hear it, but I think it was quite useful.
It was. Gav, have you got a tip for today?
I have. I've got a final tip, which I think you already referenced earlier, but I really like it, so I've incorporated it into my final tip for teachers. You must simplify the task, scaffold the path, and celebrate the success.
Celebrate with an S.
But it's celebrate the success.
Oh, okay. Celebrate with a C, but success with an S. Can I remember it? You said simplify, scaffold, and celebrate the success. Very nice.
That's what we must do as educators, Em.
That was very good for teachers. I'm going to counter that I have some student tips, learner tips. I would say to you, students, stay curious, speak boldly, and stretch your skills.
Oh, I can feel those skills stretching right now, Em, as we are teaching and learning English together.
You can? Okay, have you still got your hand under their chin or something? I'm not going to ask you anymore. But yes, definitely push yourself. Be brave and be interested.
We can't ask for any more than that.
I would be very happy if that was what my students brought to my lessons every time.
One can only hope. Em, that's the end of our S episode, and I will see you next time for the letter T.
Oh, my favourite, T.
I can't wait. And if T's not your thing, check out ko-fi.com/howtoenglishpod, and you could just send a coffee our way.
But I might use it for tea. Catch you next time, Gav.
Bye for now.